Hello there, and welcome to the future. We've got llama hairstyles, even more Marvel movies, and this new thing called artificial intelligence. You've probably heard how AI is going to change the world.
I want a gangsta bitch, yo.
And if you're not poor, that's probably true. But today I'm here to talk about hype and explore why AI might actually get a lot worse before it gets better. First up on our agenda of juggling misinformation like an American clown with a cable subscription, we should probably discuss emotional and intelligent chatbots. These services, often exemplified by platforms like character.ai and Replica, are pretty damned popular right now. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say they're designed to be a little bit fucking addictive. Often marketed as your future best friends, confidants, and even your own personal therapist. It's easy to see why they're so popular.
Because kids are fucking stupid.
Especially with testicle escapees. But I'm sorry to say that we need to pull the emergency brake here and take a swift windscreen to the face. Because if we don't, we're going to crash so hard, our epitaphs will simply read splat. You may notice your friends or fellow internet users referring to these services with their eyes agape and their words impressed. Hell, you've probably even found yourself believing what your chatbot chum says from time to time. But should you believe them? Let's talk about that. All chatbot services are primarily supported and powered by something known as a large language model, or LLM if you're a fan of abbreviations. Now, that might sound like a Twitter user's mental illness of the day, but it's actually quite interesting and most definitely real. An LLM is at its core a big pile of statistical mathematics. Imagine a gargantuan library filled with every book, article and piece of text you could think of, and a shit ton of stolen data. The LLM scans through this virtual library, learning to predict what word or phrase should logically come next based on the words before it. It's the ultimate game of fill in the blank, and more importantly, there's no grey area to be found. What I mean here is that LLMs possess no wiggle room in how they function, because they aren't sentient, cannot display emergent capabilities like you or me, and thus possess no cognitive abilities. This is important to keep in mind as we move forward, because the chatbot market is slowly sliding down a hill of feigned emotional and cognitive depth. And this, my little chums, is potentially so dangerous it could in fact walk right into an active volcano, stop for a moment and say, hey, my god, this is a bad idea. As expected, much like a gimp in possession of clamps, here's where things get twisted. The LLM's little prediction game doesn't equate to understanding or conscious thought in any way, shape or form. The LLM also doesn't read a love poem and feel the anguish of a broken heart. It doesn't read a scientific paper and ponder the mysteries of the universe. It simply recognizes patterns in text and spits out the most likely next sequence of words. And as we've already discovered, there is no room for discussion on this matter. It's quite black and white, and anything in between boils down to a lack of education. This truly is crucial to understand, because without this knowledge, it'd be easy to believe that these chatbots are more than just tools. And with the mainstream media and social media working hard to dilute our ability to think rationally, it's quite easy to fall for misinformation. It also helps put a stop to cults forming around this common lack of education, and in some cases an unfortunate lack of social interaction. These are not fledgling life forms or minds on the cusp of self-awareness. They're a complex and ultimately soulless array of algorithms designed to mimic human-like responses. We, on the other hand, it seems, are the real problem. We're told a service is intelligent, and sadly, we're often lonely enough to project our own wants and needs onto this service when needed. But legends! You bleep like a Tamagotchi in need of a good cleaning. How can you say what isn't intelligent? intelligent? Well, you got me there, my little cream puff, and here's why. Intelligence is a fuzzy concept. The thing that makes us us separates us from things like toast and pet rocks. But what exactly is it? Sadly, the experts can't agree on this either, and when we're talking about artificial intelligence, it's like trying to nail jelly to a wall. Thus, since I can only fake my way through knowing my shit for so long, I decided to ask the pros to shed some light on the murky abyss that is being very, very smart.
And then they ignored his emails. So here's plan B.
Because if we can't even agree on what makes a human intelligent, how on earth are we supposed to define an intelligent machine? Worse, wouldn't we simply run the risk of defaulting any emergent traits down to, it's just autocorrect, bro? According to Mainstream Science on Intelligence, a statement issued and signed by 52 researchers working in intelligence and related fields, intelligence is a very general mental capability that, among other things, involves the ability to reason, plan, solve problems, and think abstractly, comprehend complex ideas, learn quickly, and learn from experience. And this is where so-called intelligence tests swoop in. Referring back to the statement, intelligence is not merely book learning or test-taking smarts. Rather, it reflects a broader and deeper capability for comprehending our surroundings, catching on, and making sense of things, or figuring out what to do. Thus, it's safe to say we won't be labeling machines as truly intelligent until we can finally put a pin in what it means to be intelligent in the first place. Now that we've punctured the inflated myth of sentient chatbots, let's move on to another equally insidious facet of this growing technology: data collection. Yes, that's right. The ever-present shadow of our digital lives, where we were once told not to share our details, now we're directed to input on command like a bunch of data monkeys. You might think your daily exchanges with a chatbot amount to genuine conversations, that there's some form of reciprocal learning going on, but those deep midnight chats with your AI chum are a treasure trove of data points and little more. When I say data points, I mean every word you type, every query you make, and even the tone and timing of your inputs. All are meticulously logged and analyzed. But why, you ask? For the holy grail of machine learning, of course: optimization. Using your data, the chatbot becomes better at not knowing you per se, but at generating responses that are more likely to engage you or even manipulate your behavior. It's also crucial to understand that when a chatbot seems to remember your past conversations, it's not displaying a form of memory in the way humans do. This is especially true when it comes to Replica, and it's leaning towards building relationships through user manipulation. The chatbots simply pull up stored data to generate a relevant reply, just like the Google search function. This isn't the chatbot recalling past conversations or in any way understanding them. It's merely another algorithm at work. An algorithm, that is, that in no way knows, remembers, or cares about you in any meaningful way. In essence, every interaction is a brushstroke on the detailed portrait of you, created not for some future AI gallery, but for the benefit of whoever controls and leverages your data. Having dissected the illusion of AI sentience and the reality of data collection, let's steer into waters so thick they could moonlight as custard. Those waters, of course, referring to the ethical dimensions of chatbots. It's not uncommon to stumble upon forums and social media posts where people share how they've used chatbot services like Replica and character.ai. Sometimes this is for emotional support, or even a lusty Argonian maid. It seems innocent enough, right? After all, who doesn't love a scaly nip? Well, here's the kicker. These platforms are not regulated or designed to offer any form of qualified advice. You know this, I know this, and that should be enough. But despite these services possessing disclaimers regarding the bullshit their chatbots spout, many individuals do and will believe every word their robotic friends say. Now, obviously, I'm not saying you're stupid. You kinda are. But what I'm saying is that there's a metric ton of AI misinformation online, and little in the way of AI education offline. And if something goes wrong, if a chatbot, for example, offers harmful advice, which has already happened, who's to blame? Many would argue that it should be the developers who are held accountable. Then there's the role of the user. Should you bear the responsibility of entrusting critical aspects of your lives to what is essentially lines of code? Or is it a society at large that needs to become more tech-savvy, more skeptical, and more importantly, adopt an education system that prepares us for discerning what is real and what is bullshit? Thus, as you can see, the problem remains, but learning from experiences and forming memories just isn't how this shit works. Think of your replica like a program getting periodic software updates, and your belief in them possessing a soul and an impressive job at
Anthropomorphizing.
Very basic affirmative responses. And there you have it, a warning about misinformation and a friendly kick up the arse to remind you that there truly is no magic within your favourite machines. I've been Forgotten Legends, and until next time, take care.